A child is born into pain. Not metaphorical pain, real pain. The kind that enters the body before language, before memory, before choice. They did not choose their parents. They did not choose their nation, their century, or their circumstances. They did not choose poverty or privilege. They did not choose disease, war, famine, or disaster. And yet, they suffer. This suffering is not rare. It is not exceptional. It is not an accident at the edges of existence. It is woven into the fabric of the world itself. And somewhere above this world, beyond the clouds, beyond space and time, an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-good God is said to be watching. Not distant, not unaware, but fully present. This is not an attack on faith. It is not mockery. It is not rebellion. It is a question. A rational question that faith itself must answer, if it wishes to remain coherent. Across civilizations, cultures, and centuries, the description of God changes in name, but rarely in nature. God is said to know everything. God is said to be able to do anything. God is said to be morally perfect. These are not poetic descriptions. They are literal claims. Remove even one of them, and the idea of God fundamentally changes. Faith asks for trust. Reason asks for consistency. And when these two meet, tension is inevitable. So let us look at the world honestly. Not emotionally. Not defensively. Honestly. Earthquakes erase cities in seconds. Tsunamis drown children who never learned to speak. Diseases consume bodies that never chose to be born fragile. War tears apart lives that never chose sides. Never voted. Never believed differently. This is not targeted punishment. This is not moral correction. This is not justice. This is suffering without consent. Without explanation. Without meaning. And it exists everywhere. It does not avoid the faithful. It does not spare the innocent. It does not respond to prayer with consistency. Logic presents a dilemma that cannot be escaped. Without sacrifice. If God knows about suffering, but cannot stop it, then God is not all-powerful. If God can stop suffering, but chooses not to, then God is not all-good. And if God is both able and willing, then suffering should not exist at all. Yet it does. This is not mockery. This is structure. This is logic doing what it does best. Revealing contradiction. The first defense offered is free will. Humans choose evil, not God. Humans choose violence, greed, hatred, cruelty. And this explains some suffering. But not all of it. Earthquakes do not choose. Cancer does not choose. Genetic disorders do not choose. A child born with a fatal condition did not misuse free will. Free will explains moral evil, but it does not explain natural evil. The second defense is that suffering builds character. Pain makes us stronger. Struggle gives life meaning. But this argument collapses under scale. Some people are not strengthened. They are broken. Trauma does not always refine. Often, it scars. Often, it destroys entirely. There is no lesson. In a child dying of malaria, there is no growth. In starvation, character development has limits. The third defense is that God's plan is beyond human understanding. But if a plan cannot be examined, cannot be questioned, cannot be evaluated, then how can it be called good? Goodness that cannot be understood, cannot be distinguished from indifference. Philosophers have wrestled with this dilemma for centuries. Epicurus asked a question so simple. It still shakes theology today. Is God willing to prevent evil, but not able? Then God is not omnipotent. Is God able, but not willing? Then God is malevolent. Is God both able and willing? Then why does evil exist? No definitive answer has ever resolved this. Some argue God values freedom above all else. Others argue intervention would break divine design. But at some point, explanation becomes excuse, and mystery becomes silence. Belief is not always about truth. Sometimes it is about survival. A universe without purpose is terrifying. A cosmos that does not care offers no comfort. God becomes a moral anchor, a source of hope, a reason to endure suffering rather than surrender to despair.